Tonight on the Vince Dow Show, Vice News is now bankrupt. Someone at Fox News is apparently now releasing blackmail tapes on Tucker Carlson. We will react to them. And Biden's paid team of TikTokers allegedly has been exposed for exactly what we thought. That's all tonight on the Vince Dow Show. Stay tuned. We are live tonight from the great state of Florida. Welcome everyone to the Vince Dow Show. I am your galaxy-brained host, Vince Dow. And before we begin, everyone be sure to leave a like right now and subscribe to the channel if you are new. We do this show live every Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you are new to the channel or this is your first time joining us, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. Good to see you. And like I said, yes, every Monday through Friday, usually unless anything changes, we do this show live. So be sure to join us. We are currently at 20 likes. Come on, let's get those numbers up. Let's get the stream right now to 50 likes. And as usual, if you want to support the show, or you have a question or comment that you want read and answered, feel free to send it in via a super chat. I will be checking the chats regularly throughout the night. And as usual, we will do our Q&A portion at the end of the show where I interact with all you guys for a few minutes. So again, if you want to support, consider sending in a super chat. We have the YouTube super chats as well as Streamlabs donations. So either way you want to support, it is all greatly appreciated. And again, we'll read them on the stream, obviously. One more note of housekeeping before we begin. I will be doing a members block of the show tonight after our hour here. Okay, so after our hour-long or so show tonight, I will be doing another show basically right after that for the channel members, and we're going to be reacting to the Andrew Tate counterpiece on Vice. Okay, so basically, you know, Vice News, which we're about to talk about, you know, my own little run-in with Vice News in a second, but we're going to be reacting to his side of the story. So Vice News did this hit piece on Andrew Tate back in December or January when he was in jail. And now that he's out of jail, he actually invited the Vice journalist back and did this like counter documentary. Again, we are going to react to that. It's like 40 minutes long. We're going to react to all of that on the members block of the show. So if you want to join us, be sure to become a channel member. Join the channel membership. The link to do that is in the description. And if some of our mods could please post that link in the chat so the people who, you know, want to join us for the bonus part of the show, please do that. All right. Anyways, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's check the time on my new watch. So true. Because I woke up, had to flex. Anyways, it's the hour of Dow. Let's get into the show tonight. So, I want to open tonight with the news. Okay, with the fantastic news per the New York Times and several other media sources, Vice News is said to be headed for bankruptcy. Chat, we need, all right, victory cigars. I want to see victory cigars all over the chat, everywhere, okay? Spam it. This, I don't think there's a cigar emoji. The cigarette emoji, let's go. The once highly successful, apparently, according to the New York Times, $5.7 billion company now on the verge of bankruptcy. And I mean, folks, what can I say besides you're welcome? Okay, you are all welcome. You know, I'm going to take full responsibility here. And I know Andrew Tate might not be happy with that, but you know, we can split the credit. We can figure something out, because it was only a few months ago that Vice brought me on a panel to seemingly embarrass me, right? To set me up, to cut me off constantly. And a lot of you guys warned me about that when I did it. You're like, why are you going on Vice? You know what it's for. You know, it's meant to be a hit piece. And you know, it's meant to make conservatives look stupid. And it totally blew up in their face. And now, look at that. The Vince Dow effects, okay? Within the span of about 4 months after, less than that, more than that, they're now going bankrupt. Isn't that hilarious? Let's relive the moment, okay? We are celebrating it as a celebratory stream. And we haven't seen these clips in a long time. I haven't seen these clips in a long time. Let's relive the glory for a little bit, shall we?
Did you think the Japanese internment was a good thing? Because that was a real assimilation. Japanese internment is a classic example of assimilating Asian Americans.
No, it's not. It's a classic example of internment. I mean, they intern people.
It's also embracing the diversity that we inherently have and accepting that and being okay with that and celebrating that.
That's very idealistic, I think, but I think we should acknowledge the fact that diversity, quote unquote, is not a factor that is our strength. It's not a factor that historically or even in the current strengthens societies. People don't come together, form societies, form families, form communities because they have nothing in common. They come together and do those things because they have something in common, right?
You talk about race in such black and white terms. The way you talk about it is it's either with America, whatever your definition of America, or not. You're talking in very black and white terms, and that's actually the problem in discussing race, because we're Asian Americans, we're neither black, we're neither white. When you're having a race discussion, you can't be talking about in such like lines. Yeah. Everything is in the gray.
The more in common that a society has with one another, the more likely they are to work together and build things in society and not constantly be fighting each other and at odds with each other.
Did you think the Japanese internment was a good thing? Because that was a real assimilation situation. You know what I mean?
No, I
Do you recognize
don't.
That the term assimilation has negative history and facts associated with that word. So we do have to be careful.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I was paused. I was muted. What I was gonna say is, yeah, we're gonna relive it. I have about 5 minutes here of footage. It's an old video of mine. Let's rewatch it all, okay? Because we're never gonna see this again. Apparently, you know, Vice. It's the last hurrah. Okay, so we gotta relive the glory one more time.
How we choose, because assimilation for people of color have not been good to us historically. That's factual. So let me ask you.
We're discussing the model minority myth and the fact that
Japanese internment is a classic example of assimilating Asian Americans.
No, it's not. It's a classic example of internment. I mean, they intern people. Like, all these attacks that you're seeing the videos of in San Francisco, New York.
That's such an underrated moment. I know everyone likes to focus in on that one clip that went viral on Twitter. That's not even my favorite part of this panel. Though I have two favorite parts. The first was when Zayed announced his pronouns. He said he had he, him pronouns, and I rolled my eyes and it was caught on camera. That was hilarious. And then the second part, honestly, was this part. It was, Japanese internment is a classic example of assimilation. And I was like, no, it's not. It's a classic example of internment. It's a underrated moment. A lot of underrated moments in this that I think a lot of people actually have never seen. So,
Newsflash, they're not being prosecuted as hate crimes. So the more correct way to look at it is what is the primary perpetrator of violence against Asians overall, right? Because if we talk about these videos, we have to count them in the statistics, and we're not doing that. And when we do that, we find, well, I'll tell you this, the plurality top perpetrator of violence against Asians, number one, is not happening in rural America, and number two, is not being done by white people.
So is it black people that are doing it? Like, is it the black and brown people that are doing it?
No, that's exactly
just inherently violent. Like,
just say it.
I didn't say that. All I said was,
around it. Just say it.
And if it's not white people or Asian people, who is it?
All I said, I didn't say anything about inherently violent. All I said is that if it's
now you did.
If it's
no one accused you of that, and now you did.
If it's a white,
so like your bias is slipping out there.
It's clear.
She literally just said that, so that's what I was responding to. And my man's is deaf.
You want to say it, you should just say it.
Can anyone let me talk here?
When it comes to Asian hate, the perpetrator is not a white supremacist in New York.
Correct. That's all I'm saying.
So that's the
all
problem.
That I'm saying.
Like, we don't want to blame one race for violence when that's actually not true.
Is it white people? Is it white people?
It is white people.
Are these attacks happening in
It is white people. I literally looked up statistics.
You do not have to be white to perpetuate white supremacy. No one's saying it's not hard to govern a heterogeneous society, but
that's a cope. That's a cope.
It's possible to do a lot better than the way that we're fucking doing it right now. It's like we've banked on this myth of white adjacency more than this model minority myth of like, instead of aligning ourselves with the Black community who've been fighting for racial justice and liberation, right, and acknowledging our own privilege and putting our bodies on the line to fight for these movements. Instead, we banked on white adjacency, and here we are still being pushed.
First of all, what exactly is white adjacency? Is it working hard, having families?
I don't
understand what the issue is. But then number two, wait, let me finish my point. I think it is gaslighting when, again, the majority of violent attacks against Asians are not being perpetrated by white people to blame white supremacy.
White supremacy as a construct is this idea like that the norm of American is whiteness.
Yes.
That whiteness is the default.
Standard.
That whiteness is the standard that we all ought to aspire to. And we deviate from that.
It's not just talking about KKK.
Yeah.
It's not talking about lynchings. It's about a mentality.
Here's a radical idea. Okay, you guys ready?
No, I'm not.
So there's a lot of violence happening. A lot of it's against Asian people. A lot of it is happening in cities. Crazy idea, I know. Then maybe it's not a good idea to let criminals out of jail. Maybe it's not a good idea to defund the police, neuter the police ability to have any degree of law and order in our streets. And maybe you wouldn't have so much violence happening against so many different types of vulnerable people. I mean, this is just the truth of the situation. You know, the real core of the problem is that there is lawlessness and mass violence and mass crime happening in cities. I think that the Stop Asian Hate movement comes from woke left-wing social movement to kind of make it into this argument of like minorities being persecuted, when I don't think that's the core of the problem. I think the core of the problem is like, it's just dangerous in our city.
Thank you very much for watching that. So true. And honestly, I did that cut like months ago. There's a lot that was missed in that part, but you know, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I know there's that one clip that was on Michael Knowles and, you know, everyone, but truthfully, if you ever want to go and watch the whole 40-minute Vice thing, you'll notice the kind of viral clip is not even in that compilation. The whole 40 minutes, with the exception of about maybe 5 minutes where I was quiet, the entire thing is like that, if you're ever curious. But anyways, there you have it, folks. You know, I know it might be a little bit overzealous, it might be a little bit cocky, but, you know, I'm single-handedly going to take full responsibility here for the downfall of Vice. I think that is fair. I don't think that is overzealous at all. Okay, listen. They bring Vince Dow into the building, and then, you know, in the span of minutes, he bankrupts the entire company. You could see it. You could see it on the director's face when I was leaving the building. He, you know, I at first I didn't know what that look was. Now I see it in his eyes. Oh no, we're bankrupt. Okay, so, you know, just send in Vince Dow. Okay, so who this is what happens. They bring Vince Dow into a liberal media company, and then he bankrupts the entire company. So who's next? Okay, open invitation, guys. CNN, New York Times, Rolling Stone, any of you guys out there, let's do it, okay? Vince Dow is the destroyer of media companies, destroyer of liberal media companies, okay? See, you know that one quote during when they dropped the first nuke, I think, what's his name, Oppenheimer or something, said, "I am death, destroyer of worlds." Well, you know, in that case, I am Vince Dow, destroyer of liberal news media. It is so true. But, you know, in all seriousness, you know, I'm actually not joking aside, it is true. But this overall does seem to be a trend in the entire news media, which I guess I want to talk about for a second, because we can look at Vice and make fun of them for going bankrupt. But it's important to point out, literally just Google this. Google news media company layoffs, and you'll find long lists. It seems to be a trend across the entire media and show business industry, and you see the exact same thing happening right now with the Hollywood writers, right? You heard about this Hollywood writers strike where all the writers for Jimmy Kimmel and all that stuff, they're striking. They say they're not getting paid enough. There is this large trend across the whole media industry of layoffs, right? Or bankruptcy in this case. And I suppose we should ask the question, what's going on here? Why is this happening? Well, in my estimation, I would say it's two reasons. The first is just that the content sucks, right? The first is that people are just not consuming mass media the way they used to. That's both because their product sucks nowadays, and also because oftentimes the product is highly political. I mean, I don't know. I never really knew what Vice was because I'm too young. Okay, so I grew up, you know, I only became a teenager basically under the Trump presidency. And so I only remember Vice as being this, far left thing. But, people say it used to not be like that. It used to be just media company, whatever. And so there's absolutely that. It's a bad product. It's a divisive product that's driving away half the population. But I would say, honestly, there's a second reason. And the reason why I don't think it's merely satirical to take credit as an online creator for the downfall of something like Vice. And that is what we are doing here, right? That's this sort of just online, small budget media podcasting type of thing. We're taking over the game right now. That is what is happening. And so if you look at a company like Vice, CNN, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, all of these companies, and ask, why are there so many layoffs? Why are they hemorrhaging money? Why are they going bankrupt? Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. This sort of thing right here, right? This online media thing, small team, small budget, this is the future. Oh, but you might say, but Vice is online. The video's online. What's the difference? Yeah, but here's what you need to understand as kind of like, I guess, insider info to the way parts of this industry works. Vice is still set up like TV or film, and that's the difference. So I'll use my panel as an example, right? When we went to New York and we shot this panel for Vice, and by the way, that's the original outfit that he was dressed in. Okay, in case you're wondering, you're saying, no, that's Photoshopped. No, that's not Photoshopped. He actually showed up dressed like that. And, the director was like, well, I don't know if that's really going to fit. It's kind of big. And he was like, oh, okay, fine, I'll put on a normal outfit. So, that's kind of what happened there. But anyways, we show up to that set. And there's probably about 10 to 15 people in that whole film crew, right? You have like several cameramen. There's like 5 cameras, every one of them manned by an actual person. There's a lighting guy, an audio guy, a director, a producer, a stage director, a stage manager to talk to. It's just big, gigantic, bloated team. And the truth is, while that's kind of the way things have always been done, none of that stuff, especially with modern technology, is really necessary. It helps, don't get me wrong, it helps to have a big crew. It helps your production value and stuff. But is it really necessary to be paying everyone all these different salaries? That's really the reason, if you're just curious as to why there's so many media layoffs right now. The reason is us kind of internet people are showing these big corporate industries that actually we can just sit down with a microphone and camera and maybe a few $1,000s worth of equipment and compete with these billion-dollar companies, right? So let's just do this as kind of a thought exercise. Let's compare, say, the Vice panel that I did with Fresh and Fit, or the whatever podcast, where they basically just have like one producer, maybe 2 producers at most. They buy some podcast mics, a few cameras, and they just sit down and record, right? It's a similar debate format. People watch it. People are glued to it either way. And they basically get the same number of views and cultural relevance as those Vice panels do. Arguably, they might get more, right? So if you're Vice, and this is kind of the reason, again, you wonder why so much of show business entertainment is struggling. What's the point of all that production value? I mean, sure, it helps. It helps to have an audio guy, lighting guy. It makes the production value slightly better. That panel I did is probably slightly more easier to watch than, the podcast where we all have these podcast mics in front of us and stuff. But by how much? Right? Are they really getting a return on the value when you can create a passable setup for, say, $5,000 to $10,000? Why do you need these big, gigantic sets and crews and this stupid guy to do the lighting, audio, all that stuff? The point I'm trying to make here is that I think a lot of businesses, especially in our world, are starting to learn from us online people that the return on value of hiring all these useless employees is not worth it. And then you even look at the way, honestly, that they spend their time. We're sitting here on this Vice set and, it takes them like 3 hours to set it up. All this time just spent just sitting here. Oh, let's make sure the light is right. It's like, yeah, okay, I get it. It looks better. It probably looks better than my setup. But that's hours on the clock, right? The amount of hours on the clock these people spend just standing around doing nothing, all that different stuff, many such cases. And that's what every liberal company, in my opinion, is starting to learn right now, is that actually we're very wasteful. Actually, like, none of the stuff we do is necessary. You know, all the libs mocked Elon Musk for firing half of Twitter, which is, he was kind of the first one to do it. He got into Twitter and said, we don't need half of these employees. And they're all like, he's stupid, he's reckless. And look what's happening now across liberal America. Everyone is like, holy shoot, we're, you know, hemorrhaging money here. We need to fire like half the workforce. And so that's basically what's happening in every woke industry right now. So, you know, that's just some food for thought. Of course, that would be the logical reason for why Vice is actually going bankrupt. But of course, I defy logic, because we all know this, okay? The real reason Vice is going bankrupt is obviously because of Vince Dow, right? It's me. You're all welcome. But there it is, folks. Vice News is no more. Okay, one more time. Victory cigars in chat. Okay, spam the cigar emoji. Let's go. So true. So true. Bye-bye. Real. They try to set me up. They try to destroy me. Now they're destroyed. So true. All right. Anyways, guys, with that said, before we go on to our next story here, we're going to react to the Tucker Carlson blackmail quote unquote tapes in a second. I got to check out the super chats. So again, if you guys want to support the show tonight, questions or comments that you want read and answered, feel free to send them in via the super chats. Let's get caught up here. So Zachary for $2, thank you very much, says, wish me luck on the county GOP meeting. Yes, I remember. Hold on, is the stream lagging? Why is it doing this? Are we good? It's saying on my end that it's lagging, but it looks fine. I don't know. Chat, are we good? But anyway, Zachary says, wish me luck on the county GOP meeting. Yeah, I heard about this. So he we love to see it. Zachary's been watching the content for a few months, and now he goes to his local county GOP meetings. I think last night he was at a Republican town hall with his congresswoman. So we love to see it. Good luck, Zachary. Thank you for the $2. Good to see you, man. Everyone in chat, good luck to Zachary. Supreme Leader Admiral Alexander Kolchak for $2 says that my favorite part was white people. See, I don't know why I didn't put that in the cut. Again, that's like a video months ago. I don't know why I didn't put that in the cut. That was classic. There's so many, just that whole 40 minutes, I'm telling you guys, is content from beginning to end. You know? And frankly, it can be content for years. Every year or so, the channel needs some subscribers, whatever. We need to, you know, it is real. The last great piece of content that Vice ever made. You're welcome. But it is so true. There's this one point where they asked, I forgot what it was, but the girl in the purple hair literally just said, instead of just saying white people. By the way, let me point this out. According to Google, that girl with the purple hair is actually 41 years old, which she looks good for 41, but, you know, Asian woman's skin. And she is married with kids, and she dyes her hair purple like a child and speaks like a child. White people! So, you know, exactly. It's so true. Thank you for the $2. Eric Peterson for $2 says, the best thing Vice did was introduce me to you. Well, thank you, Eric Peterson. I too am glad that Vice introduced me to you. So God bless you, man. Appreciate it. Again, if you want to super chat the show, I am reading them right now in between segments. Arnie Hernandez for $5 says, what is your view on medieval guilds? Based or no? So what exactly, what exactly would define a guild? Let me just, a medieval association of craftsmen or merchants. Okay, so basically like a sort of union, medieval guilds. Based or no? I mean, I guess I'd say it's based. Yeah, it's old school, right? It's old school. A lot of craftsmen, blacksmiths, whatever, working together. Old school way of life. You gotta respect it in some ways. It's traditional. And so, I mean, yeah, I would say so. Thank you for the $5, Arnie. I appreciate it. And again, if you want to support the show tonight, I will read more super chats after the next segments here. Here's Burgundy Blue for $2. Says, sorry I missed the stream yesterday. Hope you're okay. Thank you for the $2. I am fine. I'm doing fine. I mean, I am quite tired, I will say that, which I don't know if you guys can tell. Yeah, real. You can see it. You can't hear it because I always got the energy, but you can see it. I've been awake today since like 3:30 in the morning because I had 2 exams today. I had finals in college. I had stats test at 7:30 in the morning, and then I had another one at 10 in the morning. And so I was tired last night. I was like, it would not be smart to pull an all-nighter, right? But then I was also worried if I go too late, I might sleep past the alarm. I might not wake up. And so I did like this strategic controlled sleep where I went to bed at like 10 and woke up at like 2 or 3 in the morning, you know what I mean? And then studied and then did it through that. But now I'm like exhausted, like I'm ready to crash. I probably will after the show. But like I said, we're doing the members block and then I'll crash after that. So real and true. Anyways, guys, thank you for these super chats. Again, you want to support the show, feel free to send them in. I'll read them, read more of them later. But all right, anyways, into our next story here. All right, let's get into the Tucker Carlson stuff. Last week here on this show, we reported on allegations that Fox News was holding some type of blackmail tape against Tucker Carlson. And that wasn't from me. That's what some people were saying. I said myself, you know, I don't even know necessarily how true it is or isn't, but that's what we reported. Again, last week, we reported on this show that Fox News might be holding some type of blackmail tape against Tucker Carlson. Now, it actually seems like that entire thing is real. It is just very silly and underwhelming. This week, the left-wing media operative Media Matters, you guys know Media Matters. I'm sure you're probably familiar with them. They do all the, hey, this right-wing person said this, and they just post a clip of a right-winger saying something cool, and they're like, no! But they've been leaking some private tapes of Tucker Carlson, allegedly acting inappropriately while on the set at Fox. Now, I would argue that in itself already raises a serious moral dilemma for Fox when you think about it, because that either means that A, Fox itself is working with left-wing media to expose its own former employee, because where would they get the footage from? Like, anyone asked this question? So if Media Matters is getting a hold of all these tapes of just, you know, from studio cameras at Fox, where are they getting the footage from? Because A, if it's hacked or something, then that would be criminal on the part of Media Matters. I doubt that's what it is. So if it's not that, it means that Fox is either, again, working with left-wing media, sending this directly to Media Matters, or we have a rogue employee, some like, you know, employee who's surely breaching privacy agreements, breaking NDAs, probably breaking the law. And so, you know, something is going on there, something to think about. And you have to imagine this, right? I'm not saying I know for sure who's leaking this, but if it's not directly allowed or Fox is not themselves directly doing this, then whatever employee or hacker doing this, you would think is, you know, responsible for some type of criminal charge. But I don't know. Anyways, let's go through some of these tapes. The first one here was from yesterday where Tucker Carlson, wait for it. What is the high crime of Tucker? He makes a joke and then suggests professionally how his company and workplace could become better. Let's check it out again. This is the blackmail tape on Tucker Carlson. Here it is.
I don't want to be a slave to Fox Nation, which I don't think that many people watch anyway. We're gonna because I you know, I'm like a representative of the American media now. Speaking to an exile in Romania and welcoming him back into the brotherhood of journalists.
Yeah, it would help us out if you wore a sweater though, because we asked him not to wear a suit. Like, he was panicking about it. So you don't have to. Tucker's gonna be looking casual. That's just how our show looks. Is that okay?
I mean, this is airing on the nighttime show, and I want it to look official. I don't want it to be like bro talk. And I, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but the majority of it, like if we go like 45 minutes, it's going to be for Fox Nation.
But nobody's going to watch it on Fox Nation. Nobody watches Fox Nation because the site sucks. So I'd really like to just dump the whole thing on YouTube. But anyway, that's just my view. I'm just frustrated with it's hard to use that site. I don't know why they're not fixing it. It's driving me insane. And they're like making like Lifetime movies, but they don't work on the infrastructure of the site? Like, what? It's crazy, and it drives me crazy because it's like we're doing all this extra work and no one can find it. It's unbelievable, actually. I don't know who runs that site.
We're going to play a sizable chunk on the show tomorrow night. That's the plan. And then what it's going to do is drive a lot of people to watch this on Fox Nation. It's going to be a great help to what we're doing over there on TV today.
I know, but we're doing our part. We're like working like animals to produce all this content, and the people in charge of it, whoever that guy's, whatever his name is, like they're ignoring the fact that the site doesn't work. And I think it's like a betrayal of our efforts. That's how I feel. So of course I resent it.
So again, let me remind you that this is supposedly a hit piece expose tape on Tucker. What? Yeah, so, I mean, you saw the tape, you listened to it. What exactly is wrong here? What exactly is the problem? What did Tucker do that was incriminating or egregious or inappropriate or unprofessional whatsoever? You know, so yes, there is some degree of just industry talk, right? They're just, you know, kind of talking back and forth about, you know, Tucker doesn't like the way Fox Nation is run, disagreements. Yeah, guess what? Newsflash, disagreements happen in the workplace. They're allowed to happen. You know, this doesn't even sound like Tucker's boss. It just kind of, you know, it's not really a big deal, okay? But Tucker expresses professional disagreement on a phone call because he doesn't like something, which again is pretty common. And then he privately disagrees. He voices those disagreements. He quite respectfully makes suggestions on how he thinks he could improve those things. And by the way, he has a great point. He's absolutely right. Fox Nation, as compared to a lot of other paid subscription services, is not really that competitive on the right wing as compared to, you know, something like Daily Wire Plus, for instance. And then he moves on, right? And in fact, he's actually, in the tape, he's quite patient and calm, which many news anchors are not, right? I mean, you've heard like the Bill O'Reilly tape, and I'm sure you've heard many others. You know, a lot of news anchors, when they're unhappy in private, they're not actually that nice. Tucker actually in that tape, and he just seems in general like a nice and amicable and patient guy. So again, this is the bombshell leak on Tucker Carlson that he didn't like the way Fox Nation was run and respectably said, I don't really like that. I have no idea. I'm confused as to why they're doing this. I'm further confused on, allegedly, if that's the case, why Fox News would leak that tape to Media Matters. It kind of seems like Fox is, attacking themselves. But anyways, that was yesterday. Today we have more leaks. We have more leaks on Tucker Carlson today. And are you ready? Are you ready? So it turns out, these are the new tapes, that Tucker Carlson is an even cooler and funnier and more friendly guy than we previously thought. Okay, let's check it out. Here's some of these tapes. Again, this is today.
Well, I feel great. You know, I can never assess my appearance. I wait for my postmenopausal fans to weigh in on that. My IFB. What? They want to control me from afar? Okay, I'm putting the leash on. You can... Fuck it, we'll do it live! I got you, baby.
So that's supposed to make me hate this guy? That's supposed to make me not like this guy? That was hilarious. And that's also, like, I look at that, I'm like, he's funny. He's like a fun guy. You know, I would actually want to work for him, you know? What am I supposed to be upset? What am I supposed to be mad at? He even did the Bill O'Reilly thing. Like, that's funny. Okay, that's funny. Am I supposed to be mad at, I don't know, the joke where he said, and I have it written down here, I can never assess my appearance. I wait for my postmenopausal fans to weigh in on that. Again, okay, so he made that joke privately on camera. Who cares? Like, first off, that's hilarious. Secondly, it's also kind of true. Middle-aged women do that. There's a reason why I still ask my mom sometimes, you know, and you do too. It's like, hey, does this fit right? You know, because it is true. The postmenopausal woman, they have an eye for these things. That's why you ask your mom and grandma, or you ever do this? You're actually with a middle-aged woman on TV and just sitting down watching TV. They're actually very good at it. It's like, he's not even wrong. They're very good at it. They'll point out, hey, that person's hair is wrong, or this, you know what I mean? It's suit, whatever. Many such cases. But again, this is the incriminating blackmail on Tucker Carlson. Why are you even leaking this? How is this newsworthy at all? So anyways, there's that tape. Here's another tape of him speaking right to Media Matters. And okay, so let's listen to this one.
You wouldn't? Okay. I'm not, you know what? I'm not qualified on that score, I will say. I thought his girlfriend was kind of yummy. Just kidding, in case this is being pulled off the bird. Yeah, the bird. Hey, Media Matters for America. Go fuck yourself.
That's
the first thing I want to say to
you.
So
true.
Second thing is, totally kidding. I don't even know what his girlfriend looks like. And if I did, I would not find her yummy.
So again, Media Matters are the ones who posted this. It's like, you know, you're posting your own L. That's what you're doing. You're posting your own defeat, okay? Just stop it, okay? Again, I watched that tape. Approval rating of Tucker Carlson before it was here. Now it's up here. Now it's all the way up there, okay? But anyways, you get the point at this point. This is basically what they are doing. They're releasing these tapes on Tucker Carlson that make them look funny and relatable and normal. But last one here, I'm going to play all of them so that you can get a fair assessment, and I'm not at bad faith anything. Here is the last one. Here is Piers Morgan joking with him about, I guess, sunning his balls. So let's check it out.
Everyone in this company is thrilled that you're doing this. I've gotten more calls from people about it.
Oh, that's great. Well, I got to say, when I came to...
Also, a lot of people are saying it looks like this is AI, you know what I mean? Because the way his mouth is moving. I could see it. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, but also, you know... If they were going to make something AI, you think they make a deep fake that was just more incriminating, right? That actually was bad. So I don't know. It might just be the studio camera, like the frame rate. It might just be like an issue of frame rate where I don't know if it's like from the archives or whatever. It's a lower frame rate, and that's why the mouth moves slow. I don't know. But anyways,
New York a couple of weeks ago, I couldn't believe how welcoming and friendly everybody was. It was fantastic. I loved it.
Yeah, they really mean it from the owners on down.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool to see it. I like that. It's a good, you know, people are nice in this company, I think. They've always been nice to me anyway.
I completely agree. Everyone's been very, very friendly and very nice, and I really appreciate it. But thank you so much for coming on. It's
I bet that doesn't change. Of course.
Yeah. It's just great to have you on my show. I mean, I've been on yours enough times. It's great.
I think it's totally cool. So let's, if we're going to talk about sex, I'd love to hit some of the fine points of technique. But it's your show. It's totally up to you.
We can certainly talk about your sexual technique, especially after your tanning testicles last week.
Not mine. We'll speak in more general terms, but I've got something to add.
Again, who cares? It's actually just funny. I actually just kind of laugh. It's like, first of all, it's locker room talk. Okay, let me just say it was what he said was locker room talk. Real true. But again, this is, oh my gosh, I can't believe he said this. And by the way, we're really supposed to believe that other news anchors, the ones that are still on TV, don't talk like this? You really mean to tell me that? Right? The ones who actually are perverts in real life and are not married and, you know, just total degenerates. You know, they surely would never make a joke far worse than that. But, you know, Tucker, again, locker room talk with Piers Morgan, who was clearly fine with it and, you know, had no issue with it. Oh my gosh, cancel Tucker Carlson. I can't believe he made a joke about stunning his balls. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. And it really does go to show you that they don't actually have anything on Tucker. And that's what I said last week. I said, maybe there is some type of blackmail tape on Tucker Carlson, but considering the fact that Tucker actually, and I kind of predicted this and it seems to be true, Tucker actually doesn't seem to be a guy with that many crazy skeletons in his closet beyond normal human being stuff. I said, I made a prediction. I don't think he really has anything that incriminating. He might have some, and this is what I predicted. I said, they probably have some videos of him making jokes that nobody cares about. Honestly, you'll probably look at them and be like, that's funny. I said that last week. I've not seen these tapes. I just predicted it because it seemed like it would be true. And that's exactly where we are. So I don't know exactly who at Fox is leaking these or how they're being leaked, but whoever is doing it, you're not actually winning. I think you're actually making yourselves look kind of stupid. But what I will say is please do keep on doing it because I actually like these tapes. I think a lot of people like these tapes. And the more of these we watch, the more that we are like, wow, Tucker is a real guy. Wow. And Tucker privately is just like he is publicly based, So yeah, there's the Tucker Carlson tapes. We still await. Are they going to actually find anything real? I doubt it. Again, if this is all they have, then I think that actually tells you that Tucker Carlson is a pretty clean guy. But anyways, before we go on to our final story of the night, I know we got some super chats here, so let me get caught up. Zeb Boykin for $20, thank you very much, said, just texted you a video link to a tweet. React post show to it. It's those two crazy hair paid Team Democratic operatives. I think I have to imagine, Zeb, thank you for the $20 big donation. We're about to do that segment. I think we're probably talking about the clip. So we're about to do that segment on this show, so don't worry about it. Thank you for the $20 big donation from Zeb. Enclave Nationalist for $2 says, oh, now the message was deleted. Okay, well, thank you for the $2. It's just message deleted by Mr. Easy. Okay, well, thank you for the $2. Enclave Nationalist, if you're watching right now, yes, leave a like on the stream. Let's get to 150 likes. And again, if you want to support the show, and if you have questions or comments you want read or answered by me, or by Joanna, Who is Joanna? Oh, we got one, actually. Okay, we got a Streamlabs donation here. Thank you for the $5.
$4 donated $5. It's hard to get a girlfriend nowadays. It's called hoflation. You have to work 5 times as hard for a woman 20 times worse than your grandma. It's so over.
Thank you for the $5, dollar for dollar. Appreciate it. Thank you, Joanna, for reading the super chat. I don't even have to cue her anymore. Before I had to be like, Joanna, please read my super chats. Joanna's my secretary. Joanna, please read the super chat. Now she just knows. Look at that. Now she just knows. Okay. Well-trained secretary. Are they going to cancel me for making that joke like Tucker Carlson? Probably. Anyways, it is true dollar for dollar. It is genuinely, I understand. Yeah, it is indeed hard. And the concept of hoflation, as you describe it, is absolutely real. And he puts it quite well. You have to work 5 times as hard for a woman 20 times worse than your grandmother. It's so over. Like, this is true. And this, the dating market is becoming more and more uneven. I think the big stat that they say is true of dating apps and really the real dating world too, is the top 20% of men get the bottom 80% of the women, right? And back in the day, it was really like a 50-50 thing, and that kind of ratio just keeps shrinking and shrinking over time. So it is absolutely true. And as a man nowadays, unless you are someone who truly is exceptional in some way, that stands out in some way, which, if you're just born 6 feet tall and sharp chin and, athletic, then you got it going for you, obviously. But, if you're not that person, then you have to, in some way or another, work very hard, not to simp, not to chase, oh, please. No, but instead to kind of sharpen yourself as a man and, be the type of man that a girl would want to go out with, a girl would date. And it's a lot harder nowadays. Back then, it was just, hey, Betsy, you want to go get milkshake later, and that was about all it took, right? And now it's not like that. And so It definitely is hard. It definitely is hard. I would say I think I'm relatively fortunate in the sense that I am like this public figure, influencer or whatever. And so, I will admit, like, yeah, there are kind of is a market, there's options. But I also am like, sometimes I think to myself, wow, if you were not status, because that's like what women like and stuff, if you didn't have like some degree of this status, quote unquote, whatever you want to call it, it is hard, right? Because I think most average men these days are virtually invisible, and then that's kind of the issue. So thank you for the $5. It is very true. And as much as we can complain about it, the only real option is, if that's the case, not to be invisible, right? You got to figure out a way to not make yourself invisible. And so, whether that's getting strong, building financial independence, becoming more charismatic, I don't know, whatever it is, you got to find a way to not make yourself invisible. That's really the only option. Thank you for the $5, dollar for dollar. Let me see, did we get any other super chats? No, we did not. Okay, on to our final segment here of the night, and then we'll do Q&A, and then we'll do the members block. Again, we're doing a members block of the show tonight, so be sure to become a channel member. We're going to be reacting to the Andrew Tate counter Vice documentary. Okay, it'll be fun. It'll be interesting. So if some of our mods can post the chat for the channel membership, again, link in the description, but if some of our mods could post the link for that, again, we're doing a members block of the show. So become a member to see the hour 2 tonight. All right, anyways, final story of the night here. I'm sure by this point you are familiar with Harry Sisson and that other guy whose name I don't know. He's just the guy with the haircut. These are the TikTok influencers that Biden has allegedly, as in reported massively by the news media and NBC and the Washington Post, the liberal news media, not even our news media, paid or in some way contacted to reach out to the Gen Z vote in 2024. Again, I'm virtually sure by this point you're familiar with these guys. But if you're not, let me give you an idea. These are the Biden allegedly paid TikTok influencers designed to target the Gen Z vote. Here we go.
The choice for the 2024 presidential election is already clear. We have President Biden, who's a good man. He's passed historic policy, and he cares about the American people. But what do the Republicans have? Donald Trump, the disgraced, twice impeached former president, who's been indicted. He tried to incite an insurrection at our Capitol. He tried to overturn a free and fair election. Yeah, let's stick with common sense and not conspiracy. Let's stick with fact and not fiction. And in 2024, we're going to re-elect President Biden, and we're going to finish the job.
So, just to give you an idea, there you have it. That's far from the worst video of theirs. Did you guys, some of you guys might have seen the stream last week where the guy was in his car screaming about gun control. I think it was the other one. He was in his mom's car and he was like, Republicans are... That's actually what he sounded like. But anyways, Vince, you might say, why do you keep saying that they're paid shills? Well, because they are. Because... that's what liberal media reported on weeks ago. And when you listen to their content, I think it's pretty obvious. I mean, here was Harry's friend today on the Tim Dillon show. And he, for once, this Biden TikTok team, for once, one of the guys had a remotely independent thought and then immediately just kind of watch and see for yourself. Watch what kind of happens here.
To be honest, like it's actually really hard in this space, right? Like we have like 45 seconds to record a video, keep people's attention. And a lot of the people on our side, like if they start hearing, like I've actually done it before. I've criticized like Democrats, like specifically Hakeem Jeffries, and it all just went south. Like I started losing followers. Like it's bad, right? And I really want to be that person that like reaches the other side, because Democrats, I mean, they're horrible at their jobs, right? They do a lot of shitty things, although I'll vote for them all the time. But it's also hard in the space to criticize them.
That's a good, can we clip that quote? They're horrible at their jobs.
Please don't clip that. Please, no, please.
So first of all, you have the quote itself that everyone is kind of talking about, making a big deal about, and it is true. You listen to what he said. Democrats suck at their job, but I will vote for them all the time. Now, that in itself is not particularly surprising, and I suppose, to some degree, in fairness to him, I could make fun of that, But we basically do the same for Republicans in most cases. So far, but that's actually not my point. Well, that's what a lot of people are bringing up. My point, though, is kind of watch back at the end of when he realizes he screwed up. Okay, kind of watch
honest,
this.
Like,
watch
it's
this
actually
part
really
here.
hard in this space, right?
We clip that quote.
So Tim Dillon is like, can we clip that and then watch
Clip
this?
that quote. They're horrible.
Please don't.
Jobs. They do
Please
shitty things.
don't. Please don't clip that. Please no.
Notice the very knee-jerk reaction. Please don't clip that. Please don't clip that. Harry on the right is like face palming. I think he says, "Blank, damn it." Do you see what I'm saying there? Do you see what I'm saying there? Don't clip that. Please don't clip that. Please don't clip that. It's not like, don't clip that. It's like, please don't clip that. Let me ask a question. If these are just normal influencers that just decided they want to spread liberal ideas and make these videos on someone else's podcast, why would they be so panicked about any of that? Why would they be so, please don't clip that, please don't clip that? Because independent, conservative, and even in fairness, liberal commentators disagree with their party all the time. I mean, you know, TYT, very progressive network, they will criticize Biden openly. They're not like, you know, when they feel like it, they're not totally, please don't say anything bad about Biden. Shank impression. It's not really that big of a deal or a discrediting thing to be fed up with kind of a two-party system, unless, right, the party itself is paying you to be a propagandist. And I think it's pretty clear in that reaction. That's why they're so flipped out about it. Because again, if these are just normal random TikTokers, who cares? You're allowed to say that. In fact, a lot of young progressives will probably be like, yeah, I agree. I wanted Bernie and I got Biden instead. It is what it is. Again, very obvious there. But they are now denying this. Harry, the other guy, apparently has taken offense to the accusation that he is a paid shill, a paid operative, and took to social media last week to claim that, actually, no, the massive media reports everywhere by, again, left-wing news outlets, right? Who first reported this? The Washington Post? NBC? Actually, no, that's not true. He is not a paid shill for the DNC. Take a listen here.
So some MAGA trolls have been claiming that I'm a shill paid for by the DNC, and I don't actually believe what I say. If I've learned anything in my time making content on the internet, it's always a losing battle to feed the trolls, so I'm only going to address this once. I have never been paid by the DNC, ever. In fact, any content I've ever been sponsored to post has been labeled as such as required by law. I suppose it's worth mentioning that I've never been paid by Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, or the deep state either. The best part is this grand conspiracy the liberal Illuminati has been hiding from them is literally just a Washington Post article. And if they actually read the article, they would see that no creator was paid anything. If you think that I need to be paid to make content with President Obama, then you've clearly never seen the content I've been posting on this app for years.
Okay, you know, just for the record, I don't know if other people were saying this, Harry. I never accuse you of not believing the things that you're saying. I mean, I'm familiar with you. You've been around for years. You know, I think to an extent you are ridiculous about it and you might pick certain things or whatever. But I mean, I don't think anyone is suggesting you're not a total NPC liberal. I think what we're just pointing out is that the way you're going about this is obviously sort of the party line operative. Like, that's what you are. But anyways,
the fact that these conspiracy theorists think it would take a paid actor bribed by a liberal conspiracy to speak out against gun violence against kids or student loan debt or making sure that everyone has the right to vote just shows you how out of touch they are. I really appreciate the people who've been defending me against these ridiculous threats, and for the conspiracy theorists, I'm sorry, there's no story here.
All right, so there you have the clip. Well, funnily enough, after that, he got, let me pull it up here. I forgot to load it in. He got fact-checked by none other than Twitter community notes itself, okay? So this is the Twitter community notes underneath this post, fact-checking our good friend here, Harry Sisson. And here, let me read it for you. In late 2022, again, this is the fact-checked. In late 2022, Biden's campaign team connected with young social media influencers, including Harry Sisson, to draw in, by the way, unfortunate last name. He is a sissy, and his last name is basically Sissy. To draw in voters ages 18 to 29, and these are New York Post, Axios, Washington Post. Okay, and then here's the second line here. Sisson recently signed with Paulette Management. Paulette received more than $200,000 from the DNC in the last 8 months. Oh, okay. So I got it. You're not a paid shill by the DNC directly. You're just paid by the talent agency that is funded by the DNC directly. Okay, got it. Thank you, Harry. Thank you for clarifying that. That really changes everything, right? That really changes everything here. I mean, look, here's the thing. You are a paid operative, Harry. Oh, I'm not paid directly by the DNC. Okay, you're splitting hairs at this point. The bottom line is you are paid by, it's one thing to be paid by a media company, but you're basically paid, if not indirectly, by party interests, right? By partisan interests to talk about politics. Now, it's okay to be an obvious paid shill. Fine. I mean, again, there are many other things that I think people could make fun of you for, but fine. Someone has to do it. I have said that Republicans need people like this too. I mean, I could never do it. Some people have said, Vince, they should pay you to do what Harry does, and it's like, the problem with me is that I have too many independent thoughts, and so I don't think the GOP would ever choose me. I'm too critical of them, but Republicans could use, if not me, someone. They need their own versions of this, and I've said that. So I'm not saying that it's inherently wrong to have just influencer teams like this, but why not just own it? That's my question. Why go out of your way to deny it when it basically is true, right? At the very least, just ignore it. Everyone calls you a paid shill. Okay, fine. You can ignore the people calling you that. Instead, he tries to go out and make a video about it and then gets fact-checked by everyone, by reality, because again, yes, you are. You are a paid operative. If not directly for the DNC, as you can see on the screen, very obviously indirectly. Okay? I think that basically settles it. I think it's quite obvious. And again, if you're going to be a paid operative for the DNC, fine. Go ahead. But don't sit here and make videos denying it when it's true. I mean, come on, man. But anyways, that's Biden's TikTok team. That's the update. I'm sure we'll be reacting to them. I feel like we've talked a lot about them. Eventually, we need to start just reacting to their videos. And so that's probably going to be a future segment. We're just going to react to their videos like once a week. But, that's kind of the news, I guess, about them. But anyways, guys, that wraps up our stories for tonight. So we will go to Super Chats. I went a little bit long tonight, but we'll do Super Chats for about 15 minutes, and then I'll do the members block of the show. So yeah. All right, Super Chats are now open. So again, if you have questions or comments for me, Q&A time, whatever you want to ask, whatever you want to say, again, the Super Chats are open, or feel free to donate on the Streamlabs link pinned in the live chat. Again, we do keep more of that revenue. YouTube does not take 30% of that. Big Tech does not take 30% of that. So keep that in mind. But anyways, let's get caught up here. Let's check out our Super Chats. Let's check Streamlabs first. All right, here we go. We did get one. Joanna, please read my Super Chats. Thank you, dear.
Eve donated $15.
He didn't even say, he didn't leave a comment. He just donated $15. Well, thank you very much, Yeeves, however I say your name. Thank you very much for the $15 donation. God bless you, man. Thank you for supporting the show here. And should we just do text-to-speech for the YouTube ones too? What do you guys think? Do you guys prefer me to read the Super Chat, or do you prefer me to just have Joanna read the Super Chats for YouTube? Streamlabs, I got to do something different, so it's like the novelty. But I don't know. Let's just try it. Do you guys prefer me to just do this for all of them? Just
Enclave Nationalist donated $4.99 through Super Chat. All I literally said was Putin is not based in that Super Chat.
Okay, thank you. I'm not playing the rest of that. Thank you, Enclave Nationalist. Appreciate the $5. Let's see. Sandra Meyer donated $2. Here we go.
Sandra Meyer donated $1.99 through Super Chat. Gonna do more TV interviews? I found you on Newsmax.
Thank you for the $2. Good to see you, Sandra. You're actually the first person to tell me that. Surprisingly enough, you were the first person I've ever had actually tell me you found me on that Newsmax hit. I absolutely want to. I plan to. You know, it's a lot. I don't want to say it's luck, but a lot of those things is kind of, you know, someone, right? Or some, like, I got that hit, I believe, because, you know, the producer or the son of the producer just found me on Instagram, and, you know, so I definitely want to do more TV hits, and I'm, you know, hopefully I network a little more to kind of get in those circles. But yeah, that's the plan. I mean, anytime I get offered to do a TV hit, for the most part, I accept it. So I've done one on OAN, I've done Salem News Channel, LFA, Newsmax, obviously. And so, yeah, I'd absolutely love to do more TV hits. They are quite fun. It's you know, I'm actually pretty good at it, I feel like, because you would think it's sort of out of my element because I'm an online person. I talk off the cuff, kind of just, you know, and then TV, you got to be so 5 minutes cut and dry, you know what I mean, just straight to it. So you don't really get to have a lot of fun, but it also is fun because it's like TV. There's something about it. So yeah, absolutely. To answer your question, I hope to do more TV interviews. I'm sure we will be doing many more throughout my life, God willing, obviously. So yeah, dollar for dollar gifted 5 Dow Pack General memberships. We love to see it. Thank you, dollar for dollar. Appreciate it very much. Appreciate it very much. Let's see, do we have more? Let's go. He gifted another one. So thank you for gifting the memberships again, chat here. I don't know if I pinned the link. Let me do it right now. We're going to be doing a members only block of the stream in a few minutes here. So again, if you want to join us, join the channel membership here. Hold on, let me see. Join us on the members block. So when I get finished with these super chats here, we're going to be reacting to the Andrew Tate versus Vice debacle on the members block. So again, become a channel member right now so that you don't miss tonight's members block. But anyways, I think that wraps up our Streamlabs donations. Let me go and just check the regular YouTube super chats here. Sheeny Beanie, let's go. Sheeny Beanie became a channel member. We love to see it. Welcome to the channel membership, Sheeny Beanie. Nice name, by the way, Sheeny Beanie. Zeb Boykin for $2 says, message retracted. Thank you for the $2. It is so true. So true. It's just straight facts, Zeb Boykin. So true. Thank you for the $2. Zeb for $5 says, why don't the Republicans buy the teen hairs? They're obviously very easy to buy. What do you mean? What do you mean the teen hairs? I don't know what the reference is there, but you know, it is true. It is true. Republicans do need more teenage outreach. I don't want to say it like that, but Republicans need more Gen Z outreach. Absolutely. So thank you for the $5 Zeb. I don't know what you mean with teen hairs. What does that mean? Thank you for the $5, though, Zeb Boykin. Ron Jones for $5. Haven't seen you in chat for a while. Good to see you, Ron Jones. Hope you've been doing well. Says, now that they need more money, buy out Vice and just put a giant N in the middle of their old logo. Thank you for the $5, Ron Jones. And it is so true. I forgot to actually say that. Okay, Vice News, folks. Vice News is now Vince News. Okay, we're renaming it. I will buy it myself because what is their company worth? $300, maybe $350. I could afford that. Okay, we're buying out Vice News and we're changing the logo Vince News. Okay, Vince World News, and we're gonna make better documentaries, different documentaries. You know, not gonna be the decade of hate. You know, that's what they call it, decade of hate. Or we could take the decade of hate series on their thing and just keep the name. But just interview like regular conservatives and paint them in a positive light. That's what we should do. But keep the name, keep calling it Decade of Hate. So let's go. Thank you for the $5, Ron Jones. It is so true. Vince News. Vice News is now Vince News. And again, folks, reading super chats right now. So you got questions or comments you want me to read or answer on the stream, feel free to send them in. Daniel McQuaid for $2.79 Canadian dollars. Thank you very much. God bless you, Daniel McQuaid. God bless you, Ron Jones. says, make asylums great again. It is so true. We truly do need to reopen them. Eric Peterson for $2 says, no Fox interviews, please. So I don't think that's particularly something you have to worry about in anytime soon. I think I've probably been far too critical of Fox to ever be allowed on those airwaves. What I would say is that if I felt like the opportunity was a net benefit overall for the movement, I might consider it, is what I will say, because it would be the same as saying, okay, you got invited on CNN, right? Yes, you're going into the jaws of the enemy, basically, but you're also using it as a platform to spread your ideas and your message and your side of the movement, right? And so, like I said, I don't think I'd ever be invited on Fox. In the scenario that I was, you'd have to give me the situation, the show, and I'd have to kind of like lay out the pros and cons. Like, I'm not going to blanket statement say I would never do it, because there are some cases in which I think it would be actually a smart thing to do as someone who is, against the firing of Tucker Carlson and for the alternative media sphere and in the alternative media sphere. But I think it would just have to be a decision to make in that moment. But again, I don't think you have to worry. I don't think you have to worry about that. I don't think that's. I think that bridge is effectively burned. Maxwell JW for $5. Thank you very much. And by the way, I'm not gonna say it. No, you know what? I'm not going to say. I'll tell you guys in a second. Let me read this super chat here. Maxwell JW for $5 said, could Trump's new education policy help him improve among Gen Z? Thank you for the $5, Maxwell. I'm not aware. Are you talking about kind of the plan to unwoke education? Or is there something else? If you're talking about that, I don't know if it'll make big strides in Gen Z. I think it'll really make big strides in suburbia. Is that a word? That's where it's really going to make a big difference, because I think there's a lot of suburban moderates out there, suburban moms even, the demographic that supposedly hates Trump, that are super, and they might even not even be hardcore conservatives, but they're kind of shocked and disgusted by a lot of stuff being taught in our schools. So, I think that's probably the main demographic it's really going to reach. Thank you for the $5, Maxwell. I appreciate it. Okay. What I was about to say is that, when I was about 17, 18 years old, you kind of at this crossroads, right? And I guess it's still kind of real now too, is there's two types of kids who want to do the conservative media thing in my age group, right? You wouldn't call them colleagues, I guess, but peers, right? And I have a lot of friends, not going to name them, but I have a lot of friends who want to do the TV route. Like, that's their dream. I want to be a reporter on Fox. I want to, and I'm a little bit vindicated right now. I always told them, I said, that is not the future. This is what I told all of my Gen Z friends who want to do the media thing can attest to this. I've always told them, I said, TV is a dying industry, has about 10 years left. Fox News may become something else, but the way it currently exists, the way your parents currently are like, oh, I want to see you work on Fox, that's not going to last very long, much longer, right? And so I've always tried to tell people, I've said, you're young, people my age, if you're middle-aged, older, you're already in TV, I ride the ship till the end, you'll be fine. But if you're just getting into it now, why would you get in now to a dying industry? Like, explain how that actually makes sense. Like, why that's a smart thing to do. It's not, right? So I've always tried to tell them. I have said, and by the way, these kids usually, they also, it's not like they don't totally drink the Kool-Aid, like privately, like, yeah, Fox is corporate, neocon, whatever, but I need to like level up in the business. And I'm like, forget that, just put that part aside for a second. The brains of it, You're really going to go try your whole life to like chase this job at Fox News when the amount of politics that goes into that, and I don't mean politics as in politics, I mean politics as in nepotism that probably goes into something like that, and B, the fact that it's a dying company and probably is going to be facing layoffs very soon. It's not very smart. And this is why I've never been scared to criticize Fox News openly, right? Which, yeah, maybe it might burn a bridge to do some Fox News hit. It is what it is. You know, I do understand, if you get to say you've been on Fox once, that's credibility. I understand that. And that's why to answer the question earlier, if truly presented with it, would I necessarily say no? Or would I try to balance that with everything else? You know, is it a net positive overall? Whatever. But, you know, I just always recognized, even when I was younger, that this alternative media thing, it's going to overtake TV eventually. It's going to overtake your Foxes and stuff eventually. So, you know, might as well buy in now, right? I'm young. I can be at the front of the curve. And I would say I'm not even at the front of the curve. I'd say I'm a few years behind. You know, it was really it was 2016 and then under the Trump presidency where a lot of this stuff blew up. I was a little bit young. I started making content in the Trump presidency, but you go back and watch, my voice kind of still sounding like this. So, but you know, it's true. It's true. Very dying industry. Very dying industry. Swisha's Sweet Rolled for $2. Thank you very much. Says, have you seen Andrew Tate's new interview with Vice? Well, Swisha's, thank you for the $2. Let me remind everyone, we are going to be reacting to that tonight on the members block of the show. So let me post it one more time in chat to join. Let me put the channel membership link. Join us on the members block. Be sure to become a channel member here in the next few minutes because we're going to be reacting to that tonight. And it'll be quite fun. But anyways, we got, it's about 9:12 right now. I want to end around 9:15 or so. So any last super chats? We're closing out the bar. Send them in now. Any last questions or comments or just want to support the show? Be sure to send them in now. And then we will end this episode of the show and then go on to the members block. So, all right. Any last call? Last call, anything here? Josh says Enclave Nationalist is secretly a Fed. He's not a Fed. He's just a high school student. There's a difference, okay? There's a difference. He's just a, how old did you say he was? Like 10th grade or something? I don't know. Go easy. Go easy. He's just a kid. Okay. But yes, he does do a quite a bit of Fed posting, and it's very true. All right, let's see. Anything on Streamlabs now? Okay. Swisha said, can you refund me so I can become a member? I could if you did Streamlabs. I can't really refund you on YouTube because it takes the money and then it holds it till the 21st of the month. And then it takes 30% of the money. So if I were to give you back what you sent, it would be 70% of it. So I mean, we could email me or something if you really want it back. Like we could work something out, but you know, it's like $2. I mean, we could try to figure it out, but you know, I don't know. Send me an email or something. All right, let's see here. Milkshake61 became a channel member. Very epic. We will see you on the members block. Sandra Meyer for $2 says, what's the oldest girl you would date? Just wondering. Thank you for the $2, Sandra Meyer. So I'm 20. I think the oldest I would go, hypothetically, is maybe like 23. Which even that's really old. Like, I don't know if I would do that. Because my whole thing is I want to have a lot of kids, right? And so she has to be around my age, in my opinion. Because if we're like too far off, it's just weird. First of all, it's kind of weird. But then, like, secondly, there's kind of like this Goldilocks zone where we need to be around the same age so that way we can kind of like maximize life in that regard. So, you know, I'd probably say like 22, 23. Again, I'm 20. That's probably the oldest I'd go. I mean, most of the girls I've dated have been like a year older than me, so I seem to have a thing for that. I don't know, they're all a year older than me, but That's probably to answer your question. That's probably where I would go. Shayon Shayon became a DAO General member. Thank you for joining the membership. Appreciate it very much. Burgundy Blue for $2 said, I'm the actual Fed. Burgundy Blue Fed confirmed? What the? Yo, he sends me money though. He donates to the show, so you know, what am I? No, just kidding. Just kidding. Thank you for the $2, Burgundy Blue. Mando Mango for $2. Thank you very much. Says, what religion are you? I'm a Christian. Thank you for the $2, Mando Mango. And more specifically, yeah, I'm Reformed. All right. If that's the end of it, let me see. Did I miss anything? Let me see if I missed anything on Streamlabs. I don't believe I did. I'm going to refresh it one last time. Okay. Well, if that's all these super chats for the night, then we will wrap up this episode of the Vince Dow Show here. Again, we're about to do a members block of the show, so join the channel membership. Link in the description, link in the live chat if you want to join us. And if not, that's all good. We will see you tomorrow night. When's tomorrow? Wednesday. We will see you tomorrow night, May 3rd, for the next episode of the Vince Dow Show. Same time, same place here, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, live on the channel. Thank you, everyone who tuned in tonight. Be sure to leave a like on the stream before you go. Let's get to 200 likes before we go. And until the next time I see you, Alpha moves only. Everyone have a very good night. God bless and peace. Oh, Burgundy Blue for $2 says Vince's show is actually an FBI psyop. You know, that sounds exactly like someone who's actually running an FBI psyop would say. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Have a very good night. God bless. Peace.